My name is Clay Mertes. I am the Chief of Sales at the Alliance Corporate Office. This is my 11th year working for you beautiful people. I am so grateful for all of y'all. I love my job. I love all of you. And it's just a blessing to work here at the Alliance. Best job in the world. And one of my favorite parts of the job is doing exactly what we're about to do today, which is doing a panel. And the reason I love this is we get to have a real, down and dirty, nuts and bolts conversation about a specific topic, okay? We're gonna get into the nitty-gritty. We're gonna give you a real picture into some serious business leaders that I know you all admire. And today's topic, we're gonna talk about buying time, okay? Because we all know that time is the most valuable asset we all have. There's nothing more valuable than time because you do not get any more of it. But if I were to tell you we have discovered a way to get more time, would you be interested? Good, because we done figured it out, how to expand our time. And how we do that is through staffing. Now, traditionally, you've had to staff by hiring individuals to come to your office, and you might not have an office, you might just have a home, and it requires a lot of work. Now, what we're going to talk about today is the ability to hire staff across the country and across the world, and compare that to the traditional ways that we hire staff. Now, the business leaders you're going to hear from today, both have traditional styles of staff, and they also have virtual staff. And you're going to get to hear from them of how they use said staff in order to buy more time and grow their business. So please get back on your feet. Let's welcome to the stage Terry Edwards, Mike Lewantowicz, Jessica Swing, and Brandon Manley. You held that up like you had something in there. Is that just water or what you got?
Got a little moonshine.
You held that up like you had something.
It's part of my talk. That was the smart water bottle, everybody.
Oh, yeah, okay, there we go.
I'm on 6%, okay? We're gonna work on that.
You got a lot of drinking to do.
Damn right. Damn right. All right, well, welcome to the diocese. I don't know if that's what you call this. Welcome, everybody. If you would start, Jessica, would you please just introduce yourself? Give everybody a picture of your business, because you're obviously a corporate staff person, but give people an understanding of how you run your business within the Alliance, your current staffing, who you have on staff, virtual, in-person. Give them just the layout.
Okay. Hey, everybody. How's it going? I'm back. Okay, so Jessica Swing, social media director. Obviously, if you didn't get that from an hour ago. Right now, when I first started, I was social media manager. I was overseeing social media for the Alliance for 7 different platforms: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Threads, X, Twitter, all of those platforms, and for the Alliance as well. So for Andy and Tim, Andy and the Alliance for 14 different platforms, and also like full-time videographer, editor for social media, specifically with digital recruiting ads. With that, quickly we learned that that is not feasible. So what we decided to do to build upon this is hire remotely in the Philippines, because we could have our media team in-house who helps with events, production, travel, all the recaps that we do, more cinematic stuff. But for social media that we crank out every single day, we need someone behind the scenes doing that while we're traveling and on the go. So for us, we have we have 8 people in the Philippines. We have 2 virtual social media assistants. One is for Andy's content specifically, one is for the Alliance. This entails doing anything from captions to slight video editing to scheduling content for every single day. Then we have 2 video editors who take the content from all these talks, cut them up, put them as educational reels or YouTube videos for trainings on social media on YouTube. And then we have also 2 graphic designers. We also have 1 ad strategist who helps on the LinkedIn recruiting side. And then we have 1 project manager overseas in the Philippines to help move everything along. With that, I was saying for a bit to Tia and Andy, I was like, this is great, and this is moving the needle along, and we are getting a lot of content done, but we still need someone in-house, because sometimes with all the media that's happening, and while we're traveling, it makes a difference to have someone in person that you can communicate things directly to help facilitate things along. So now we have Danny, who is our social media assistant, in here, probably taking content somewhere in the room. There she is in the back. So that's helped tremendously. She helps oversee a lot of the communication via our project manager overseas, so there's no disconnect. It helps keep everything organized through our system, through Monday.com, WhatsApp, all our softwares, to make sure that everything's moving along. So then I can focus on strategy and big picture while things are still happening every single day.
I lost count. Was that like 13 people?
Basically.
14, somewhere in there?
8, 9.
8, 9, okay.
Something like that.
Impressive, very
Yeah.
impressive. Brandon Manley, same question. Give us kind of the layout of your business, the structure.
Okay, Brandon Manley. I have an office in Raleigh where I have 2 staff people. I have one that sits here at home office named Debbie Woody, who is amazing.
That's Judge Woody.
She's what?
That's Judge Woody.
Judge Woody, sorry. All right. She's amazing. And then I've got 2 at the office with me in Raleigh. Debbie, and then I have a VA as well. So what Debbie does, she's kind of like the mama bear of our team. She wrangles us in. But Debbie's kind of a jack of all trades. You'll find that kind of common theme with my staff is Debbie handles a lot. So when we're recruiting people into the business, Debbie takes them, she walks them through their contracting, or at least a couple, and then we expect them to be able to figure it out from there. And but she will sit on there with them the whole time. And then from there, we have a Monday and Thursday call that she runs, where she walks them through the ARC, she walks them through the lead portals, she walks them through the underwriting toolkit, she walks them through an e-app. So by the time that they get back to us, which this is kind of the next step where we jump in to the Raleigh office, is us training them. So at the Raleigh office, we have a straight recruiter. Interesting setup there, which I can talk about later. But he's straight recruiter, so his job is to have a lot of initial calls with people, get them onboarded, get them to Debbie, to contract, and get them started. And then we have Matt on staff as well, who's a phenomenal trainer. He sells on the side as well, so it's very helpful. But Matt does he does some recruiting as well, but his main focus is really training and coaching as well. It's kind of like me, and his role is to coach and train new agents coming on. So he kind of bounces between doing coaching and training and recruiting calls. And then our VA, who sits in the Philippines, what she does is we actually have her booking some appointments for the interviews off the license list, kind of changing gears there a little bit, but we also have her do a lot of things like pending, as well as, we have her really control chargebacks and stuff like that. We use President's Club's Go High Level to track things like chargebacks, and so I have her working directly with my base shop to where she'll track those things. She'll actually call the client and get them scheduled on the agent's calendar to call back and get things figured out. But she handles some pending, so I kind of give her as many tasks as I can to kind of take the load off of the people here internally, or in the U.S., I should say.
Buying time. I like it. Mike Lewantowicz, same question. What's your setup?
So we have a physical office in Louisville, and there we have 2 full-time permanent employees, and we have, by Monday, it'll be 4 full-time interns that are college students. We have 4 Filipino VAs, and we have 4 part-time U.S.-based VAs that are college students and do some stuff on the side. Sherry has been with us for a long time, and she does a lot, from helping agents with pending to helping them in that initial contracting phase, or somebody's having a problem getting something issued. She's there. She kind of runs the office and just keeps things flowing when we're traveling. Yeah. That's right. And we've got Brian Lopez with us, who is doing interviewing. He's in charge of helping take agent calls from the home, helping to get agents started, can do their personal coverage reviews. He's also in the field as an agent. So when I hire somebody in that role, the expectations are going to be licensed, and they're going to be working more than 40 hours a week. It's to learn the business. Similar with our 4 college interns, they all had to be licensed before we would bring them on for their first day, because we sell them on the idea here, this is going to be a high-octane internship. You're going to be learning what we do inside the office, and you're going to be going out. And that's it's taken a while to build that with our presence at the University of Louisville or Eastern Kentucky to attract agents in, but that's starting to build more momentum, and we look at that as almost a farm system for future agents or future staff. So we like the idea of having that pipeline of people coming in. And then the 4 US VAs, that was our first virtual assistant, was our daughter Erin, who was doing some things while a freshman in college. We found out she was good at booking current client appointments. I think she started helping out Katrina Gustin that way, and we saw that was a good tool. So then we hired her roommate, and then from there we've kind of networked and hired more. Now our kids are, at least our girls are all out of school or college now just about. So, but we've, through their friends, have networked and maintained a U.S. presence there. We like them for more some of the inner or current client appointment booking that we'll do for other agents, and some of our interview booking. Then our Filipino VAs are full-time, and their primary role is helping out with booking interviews off of a licensed list. I think I covered everything.
Hell yeah. Terry Edwards.
What's up? So me and Tia, we have a physical office in Kernersville, which is about 40 minutes from here. And we also have a physical office in Greensboro, which is about 20 minutes from here. So the way that we do it is Tia primarily, now she's not staff, well, she's on payroll, but she signed a check. That's where that worked. So, so Tia, our virtual VAs over in the Philippines, we have 2 part-timers, but one quit by email.
R.I.P.
I know somebody else who quit by email too. I got fired by email. So we have 1 full-time now, and we're getting ready to bring on another one in the Philippines. Their primary role is to pre-book interviews on Tia calendar and my calendar. And then we have in-person full-time employee, Stephanie, that works in our Kernersville location. Stephanie, her job is to help me with client service. So any issues with policies or customer service related stuff, she primarily handles that. Then in the Greensboro location, so when we found this location, it came, included in our rent is a full-time administrative assistant. That's included in our rent. So we're in, it's sort of like most people are familiar with co-working or Regis type spaces. So it's cheaper than Regis, it's nice, and we have 2 part-time front desk ladies that when our estate planning clients or agents come in, they check them in and all that good stuff. Now, so that's what they do. Tia primarily does a lot of the initial recruiting dials, and then once she get them onboarded, she throws them to me for sales training, and that's kind of how we flow.
I like it. I like it. All right, so that's their setup. So you can all see that these individuals invest in their business, have a setup. Now let's talk a little bit strategy, Jessica. You mentioned it initially, like it allows, having multiple people doing the work allows you to focus on strategy. So can you talk a little bit about how that shift occurred?
Yeah, so I would say I've been here for 7 years, like 2 days ago, it's been like 7 years, by the way. Woo! Thank you. So for about 3 years, we realized when I was posting on social media, as we've said, obviously in our talk, is that consistency is really the biggest part of this. And as the business has grown and we've done more events, and that means more content, more agents that need interviews because you guys are succeeding, it was about 3 years in, it's like, okay, time efficiency, this isn't the most efficient way to go about this. And because of the volume of how fast we were growing and how fast the media was growing, it was going to take more than even just an in-house assistant. So that's how we got connected to do remote Philippines for media content. And it started out with one virtual assistant for social media. Her name is Kelsey. She's actually been with us for about 4 years now. And then after that, she was doing Andy's social media. I was like, well, we need this also for the Alliance. So 3 months later, we hired another one. We learned how the onboarding worked for both of them. It takes a little time to learn how to communicate, learn how to translate hiring someone in person to hiring someone remote in a different country. And once we got that process down, 2 months later, we hired 2 editors, and at the same time, because now we learned the lesson that we need to get to, one for Andy, one for social media. They are also still with us. And we hired a couple more in the process, and I learned, okay, these people are not going to be up to par, so we let them go. You replace them, and you keep hiring people till you learn who fits the standard. So within 3 years, it's grown to 8 people.
And how has that freed you up?
It's freed me up tremendously because really the biggest part on the social media side is like learning how to prioritize what's going to move the needle. It's different because with sales, obviously, there's a tangible number, there's a tangible effect, the direct correlation that you can see statistically. For social media, as we talk about, sometimes that takes longer. Even when I do recruiting LinkedIn ads, but for content and credibility, that takes longer, and I learned that what's most important is how to strategize and effectively get people to follow and convert them into messages that converts them into leads. But the biggest part is strategy and planning and then executing that correctly. So I learned that I need to prioritize how to strategize so then I can have people doing it and delegate the do so I can think about the how.
That's big right there. That's big, because it's easy to hire staff. Like, it's work to keep somebody working, but you're trading 15, 20 minutes of execution strategy for them to do 8 hours of work or 4 hours of work or whatever you're paying them for.
Yeah, and sometimes it takes longer. I will say it takes time to train someone, so initially it feels like it's taking more time, and it's going to be slow in the beginning, and that's with hiring someone in person too or remote. You have to train them and get them learning the system, and then you learn if they mess up, okay, you correct that, and it's a process that eventually, once you train them and get them right, it's going to give you more time. It's just a process to get there sometimes.
I like it. Brandon, we were talking a little bit backstage about like some of the things you've been unlocking with your in-person staff that have increased your productivity. So could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think I get your drift. It's so I think when you look at hiring staff, like the things, when you start to analyze your business, the things that you don't like to do is the things that don't make you money. And it's not so much that maybe they lead to you making money, you just like pending. Like, you don't like doing pending. I don't think you like calling the carriers and staying on hold. But when it comes to like the admin side of the business, you're looking at if they buy you back 10, 15 hours a week of pending work or contracting agents, and that leads to 10 to 15 more hours that you can be selling and recruiting and building your business, it's a no-brainer. I mean, if you think about it, if you pay somebody $1,000 a week and you just freed up 15 hours, can you sell 2 more policies? Yes, right? Can you find 5 more people? Yes, like the answer to these questions. So, and then when it comes to the building side, when you hire recruiters, you're just casting a larger net, right? So if me, and let's just say for an example, Mike and Terry are staff people for me. If we're all calling to recruit, that's 3 times the amount of recruiting that we can do. Do you think we're going to find somebody faster or slower? Faster. Okay, so, and I think I'm going the direction you want, but tell me to shut up if I'm not. Okay, so the other thing that I do, and Andy told me when I first started, he's like, when I hire staff, they all sell. They all go out and sell. And so it got me thinking, and so this is kind of the way I hire. With my staff, every person in the U.S., because it's legal in the Philippines to get them to sell, don't do that. But in the U.S., everybody that I have on staff sells on the side. Now, if you think about this, like I don't think he's here. So, okay, I just hired a guy on Friday. So here's the deal. Find out how much he's making, okay? That's the first thing. So then I make him an offer, and the offer includes a bonus of $1,000 a month worth of leads, okay? So now think about this for a second, and we can talk offline about what the pay looks like and stuff like that, but think about this for a second. If he has $1,000 worth of leads a month, and he goes out and writes 10 grand in business that month,
Your mathing.
and I got a 50,
Yep.
and let's say I got a 50-point spread on this person. Am I making the money that I'm paying him per month back? Yes, plus $1,000. Okay, now here's the other thing, and you said this. It's a farm system too. If they get the ambition to go out and decide, you know what, Brandon, it's been cool learning from you, but I feel like I'm building your business, which is why we all got in this business. It's like ding, ding, all right, cool, we got one. And now they go out and they start building their own business. And this is real life proof. Most of you guys might know the name Michael Hilla. Michael Hilla started out in this role. Michael Hilla was the number 5 producer in the country last year.
Yeah.
So do you think it was worth paying him for that time? Okay, listen, just do numbers. It's math, right? So it's how can you hire somebody? One, if I hire somebody, I want to sell them on, I can teach you how to make $150,000. And I've got proof. Let me pull up Hilla's art. This is his first full-time year. This is what he made, okay? I'm going to sell them on the experience that they get from this and where they can go, not so much on what I'm paying them today. But I'm also going to show them, hey, with this $1,000 bonus, which is what I would probably have to pay him anyway, right? With this $1,000 bonus of leads, I'm now making money back, so I almost have a free recruiter. Right. Does that make sense? Like, you get where my mind's going with this? So, and in best case scenario, he ends up being like Mike Hilla and building a massive business and traveling the world together. You know, so I'm putting him in a better position, but it's all about the way you sell it, and I'm buying myself time back. I'm expanding my reach out there too. So there's a lot of tricks to this, and it helps. Oh my God, it helps when they know how to sell and they know how to recruit when they go out and start doing it on their own. But also when it comes to training agents, you know, we had an agent come in last month, and I'll give Matt a lot of credit for this win. We had a girl start last month. She wrote $18K her first month. It's like. That to me makes a staff person so much more valuable. So if you present the job in a way that gets them excited about that, they're going to want to do that. And now they're a bigger weapon to you, right? Because now you can have them do things. You can teach them how to sell, how to recruit, and now they can teach other agents to do that. You're duplicating, like our whole business is built around duplication. Imagine you're duplicating internally. That's kind of my approach with hiring staff.
Yeah, and to your point, Patrick's been putting a lot of pressure and emphasis on our recruiters internally on selling more. And oddly enough, it has occurred in more sales for them, and they are just getting more new agents selling for the first time. It's had a big impact. I know, these crazy correlations you see in life. So that's a big tip. Mike, will you talk a little bit about like the mindset? You've been around a while, and like talk to somebody that's brand new of like, why should they invest in staff, whether they're virtual, whether they're in person, like how did you work that in your mind? Get deep into the psychology of it.
So if I go way back when our first staff person was a babysitter that we had that would come to our townhouse, which is where our office was. So we had 3 levels in the townhouse. The lower level was an office. We had one child. Emily was 2 and Aaron was 6 months when we hired our first assistant. Well, we had an admin also as part-time, but the next one was a babysitter, so that her job was to basically act like a fence on the first level to keep the kids from coming downstairs to the lower level. And then we figured, okay, we didn't have to worry about vetting them as much because they were going to be in our house at the same time. We found something was good, but it was just like, okay, how can we free ourselves up to do more? That was the first step. And then the next one I realized, I tried to make Noelle do the pending, and that lasted for about 17 minutes.
I know when you said make, that won't
I know.
go
That was
over.
a few teaching points on there. But bottom line is we realized we needed somebody else to do it, and so that was like our first assistant there. So for us, it was how can we get some lower cost tasks that we could delegate, because our time, we made more money in the creative part of the business. Then as I'm talking to people, what I see now is, okay, yes, you get help on your pending. Now back then, pending was more intense because we had paper apps and you had to make a copy for yourself, and then we'd send the original to the carrier, and if you had staff, you had to make a copy for you as a manager. It was way more intense on what we had to do to track business. We didn't have instant decision or any of this craziness right now. So there was pending, where there was something called pending requirements. It's like we don't see much of that anymore. So it took a lot more work. Now it's not. So now if somebody's building, my thinking is the first thing you need is somebody that can help you get interviews rolling. And so some people love the fact they can do that with the President's Club. That's a service that's there. We started that as well to really help encourage agents on our team to do that, because what we found is the idea of hiring a full-time person or part-time person or now even a VA and then having to equip them, all that stuff was almost too much for an agent that's starting selling to handle. So for us, it's like, okay, if you're interested in building, get a staff that will book VAs for you, or get a system that will do that, that will book interviews for you. And so that was like a great stepping off point. Then okay, I get that. Now I'm ready to go hire my own VA for someone that's part-time as a split or full-time, or now I'm ready to go and hire a full-time staff in my office. So it's kind of helping somebody take, the gateway drug of the service and outsourcing that, and then taking it up a level to a VA or full-time person.
Nice. I like that. Terry, you've been a big promoter and advocate of President's Club.
For sure.
Do you mind if we do like a President's Club commercial promo right quick? Talk about like the difference in a VA experience versus just kind of like doing it on your own, and how annoying it is and all that.
All right. If I got to do a promo for President's Club, I need at least 3 of them buttons.
3?
3.
All right. I'm going to start with 1, and then depending on how well you do,
Okay.
more buttons will go down.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Hey, ladies, he just got married, too, so put a ring on it. So I think, okay, all jokes aside, for $99 a month, that is 100%. Now, I'm not a CPA or a tax accountant, but mine told me it's 100% write-off.
Yeah, that's true.
You get access to not only Clay Mertes, but the entire President's Club staff for $99 a month. So
You got a second button.
when I first got started, Jason Mathis told me to join President's Club. So I joined President's Club. Now, back in the day, just to be 100% transparent, the value proposition was like, I don't really know. But if you look at everything that they can do for you now. So Jason was very good at hiring people overseas. Me and Tia, not so much. Like, I ain't like talking to him. I just, like, it was very difficult for me. And then on top of that, the way I had to pay him, it was a little sketchy. Jason had figured it out, but me not so much. So like I was using Western Union to pay him. And I didn't know Western Union would think that, like, I guess you sending money overseas is, you might be money laundering or something. But they would intercept the money. So it was like my staff overseas is like, you ain't paying me. I'm like, well, I got confirmation. But anyway, so with President's Club, they have made it so simple. They will deliver to you a trained, ready-to-go virtual assistant that will be on the phone as soon as you say you are hired. Like, you just don't know. Training people is a task. And they are finding the people, vetting them. They have oversight. Now, you still have to do something. Like, number one, you got to pay, okay? You do have to pay. But it's so much simpler now. So our recruiting, now, anytime that we have pre-booked appointments going into our calendars, our recruiting is good. Now, we do good with getting depth off of list of names and stuff like that. But as far as with recruiting, we've been doing the VA deal with President's Club now 3 months, I think it is. And our recruiting numbers are like this for with recruiting. And now we're looking at, okay, how can we bring on more and start getting people that's on our team, pre-booking them some interviews so we can just blow this thing out the water. Because we believe that we're going to come to family reunion with 200 Dream Teamers.
Is that a challenge?
You can call it what you want. But I ain't scared. So President's Club, and also now, if you just think about what Tia and Jessica just released, a social media marketing person that can keep your stuff consistent without you having to be creative and think about it for $200 a month, like, is that $200 for me and Tia? Or she got to get her 200 and I got to get my 200?
One business account, 200 total.
Like, where can you, like, and the crazy part about it is, majority of, probably all of the Alliance social media and the social media coming through them people, ain't it?
Yep.
So you know it's going to be good quality.
Yes. What
right?
you see edited is majority of what they're doing on social media.
But, okay, so the challenge with hiring a social media manager is them understanding our culture and what we're trying to do. Them people already know it now. So it's like the consistency, the continuity. If you're not a member of President's Club, how many buttons I'm up to? Okay. But seriously though, if you're not a member of President's Club, you get a website now. They got great websites. It's not everybody getting a cookie cutter website with your logo and all that good stuff. Like, if that should be your first staff person. If you're brand new, your first staff person should be President's Club. All right? Also, when you look at staff, you got to look at the value that Integrity Advisory Solutions bring. Like, Chris Norris is my chief investment officer. Y'all tracking what I'm putting down? So plug into what is already here. We have purchased a franchise with the Alliance. And you didn't, like, to purchase a Jana King janitorial franchise to clean toilets, you're going to pay a minimum of $10,000 to get in, plus 10% royalties every single month off of whatever you build. Here, you just get your insurance license, join President's Club for $99, and you are going to blow up. And look at what's happening in James and Angie's business. Like, it's crazy talk.
That was good. You get the remainder of your show in the green room.
No, we ain't got to go that far. I'm good.
Okay. All right. You asked for
Call Jasmine.
it. You asked for it. Real talk, though, a lot of the VA stuff, like Jessica's been doing it for a long time, and she's like, should I talk about the old way that we, like the arduous way we used to find them and do this and do that?
All
and I
the
was
tedious
like,
stuff.
No, we got it figured out. You guys, if you're in President's Club, you have access to it now. That second QR code on the right is how you reserve a VA. There's a one-time finder's fee, and then like Terry said, you pay us, and we will get your person going immediately.
And I was
it
going
don't
to say,
take long either.
I pre-trained a lot of people in anticipation of some of y'all being excited, so quite literally, they'll be ready next week.
I was going to say, we learned it. We learned how to do it so you don't have to. Like, we did the nitty-gritty. We've spent hours and literally years almost like perfecting how this system works now on the social media side of it.
Yep, exactly. Will you talk a little bit, because I get this question or maybe objection sometimes. People go, they got somebody overseas. Mm-hmm. How do you know they're working?
That's a good question. Which also gets resolved through PCs because you don't actually have to worry about this. We do it through our social media package. But it is a system now where, for one, if I rewind just a little bit, when I am hiring them, when you're doing it virtual, you set the expectation very clear. Like, they work our hours. They know that they're to clock in, communicate when they're clocking in via WhatsApp. We use a system called Connect Team that this could apply for really anybody. It's a free app called Connect Team. It's literally just like clock in, clock out. There's a payroll system. You have their birthdays on there, literally everything.
What you say that is again?
Connect Team.
How you spell that? Hey, Tia, write that down. CONNECTTEAM. And it's free up to like 8 employees. And they put all their information in. You can do a lot through that system. So basically, they clock in and out every day in there. They do WhatsApp, so we know that they're present, they're ready. We utilize Monday.com, which is a workflow system. So for social media tasks, we basically have everything that's long-form, long-standing projects live there, so it doesn't get lost in the ether of all the communication that has to happen for smaller tasks. And they give us updates with screenshots every 2 hours, and that's just part of the system. So we know where things are going. We know what progress is happening. They know then that we're also tuned in every 2 hours to see what's happening. So we're not having to check every couple minutes, and then they come with us for our questions. We also do, aside from that, we do like monthly check-ins with them. We act like, because they're part of the team, they're part of our culture, so we treat it like that. So communication is still very consistent, but it doesn't take every 5 minutes of having to stay in touch.
I like that. That was good. That was thorough. Brandon, can you talk a little bit about like the contrast in-person staff versus virtual staff? What's good for what? What's good for what?
Yeah, sure. I think for me, the way that I utilize the virtual assistants is I have them do tasks that most people could do, whether that's making phone calls to book appointments, whether that's looking at a Google Sheet and going down that, calling some pending or some chargeback cases. So I really have them kind of do like most things. I mean, we've talked about even teaching them the contracting side of it. I think the simple things is what I'm trying to say, is the simple things is what we teach them to do. And I think it's important that you have things that you can track them on, like she's talking about. If you have them booking appointments and you're not getting appointments, it's probably not working, right? So, and if you track them through like the wave dialer, that's how we do it. We can see how many calls they made, and I've got an expectation because I talked to Clay, who's been doing this longer than me, and he's like, hey, you can expect 5 to 7 appointments on your calendar per day per person. Okay, cool. Got to, frame of reference. In person's a whole different ballgame. For me, I mean, the in person is really more of an extension of you in ways, whether it comes to recruiting calls. With recruiting calls, you can train somebody up on, really, when you're training a new recruit or a new recruiter to recruit, like, they got to watch you. Guess what you do when you're teaching them how to sell? They watch you, right? So it's the same thing, and then they start to pick up over time. And then, like a lot of those secondary calls you tell them why you did or did not like this person, right? Why this person's not a good fit. So you train them up. But I think for the American side or the U.S.-based side, I'm really giving them more things to do that not just anyone could do, convincing people to join our team, right, or getting on a call with us, having them do things like sales training. Like I don't know, maybe you trust your people enough to train your people, your VAs to train people. I don't, I want them to do the simple stuff that I could pay somebody, $10 or $12 an hour to do, but in the Philippines, I don't have to pay them that much, right? So that's kind of the contrast, I guess, of the responsibility with a VA versus a U.S.-based person.
I like it. Mike, what is something, not you, but somebody has done that is really dumb that you can help them avoid when it comes to hiring staff?
Okay, I got different stories that are popping in my mind. I wasn't necessarily prepared. I'm going back through my Rolodex. So this was something we had happen. We had an employee that was out one day, and we had to get into her email. And then as Noelle was going through her email, we found out she's coordinating drug deals for a drop-off at her house on our company email. So that was a simple, okay, we'll have your letter of resignation. So we've had crazy stuff. So you're just like, oh, okay. So hey, it's out there, you know. Okay, so but what else we had?
That wasn't the babysitter, though, right?
That was not the babysitter. No. Yeah. This delivery was at her residence, not ours. Okay. Here's one that's practical. You hire a VA or a staff person, and you don't give them metrics. So if you hire somebody to book interviews, well, are you asking them to report their dials, connects, and set? Or if you're not, well, I had somebody say, well, they're not doing very well. I said, well, what does that mean? I said, well, they're not booking as many interviews as what? As well, it seems like they should. So, well, how many did they book? I don't know. How many dials did they make? I don't know. How many connects did they have? I don't know. Okay, that's terrible, right? So now you're managing based on emotion and what you feel. It's like, maybe the force be with you. Because it's certainly not now, you know. I'm just like, so you can't expect from what you don't inspect. Just like with an agent, hey, we're talking about their appointment setting, dials, connects, and set. Here's another disaster. I know I'm going to hire a Filipino VA to book appointments for me. Now, I'm not going to say that's necessarily a bad idea, but if you're doing it and you've never booked appointments before and you just heard that was a cool idea because you heard somebody else do it, I know some people that maybe have been effective with that, but if you've never dialed and you heard, well, I heard them say you should delegate what you dislike. I don't like dialing. Okay, somebody told me a long time ago, if you're going to farm out a piece of your business, don't farm out your soul. Your soul is connecting with clients. Your soul is connecting with agents. And so don't farm that out until you're good at it so you can coach or correct it. So I'm not saying don't ever do it, but make sure it's a core competency of yours so you can coach and expect and be knowledgeable and help train or take action if something fails, or you're not afraid to jump back in for when that employee or staff person quits. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to book an appointment now. What am I going to do? Yeah, that's not a good strategy.
That was good. I like that. Terry, I think a good analogy for a VA from President's Club is it's kind of like at Home Depot, you can buy a plant and it's alive and it exists. And when you leave it Home Depot and take it home, you still need to water it and take care of it. Can you talk about your active management style of your VAs and how that's affected your success?
Yeah, so people that work remote, they go through a lot of isolation. I don't know if y'all, when y'all recruiting people, like people that work from home, it's like, when we're talking to our virtual VAs, like Tia is notorious. Like they will get on WhatsApp and call each other on video chat multiple times throughout their shift. And one of them started crying one day. And she was like, working from home is so lonely. Y'all make me feel as if I'm right in your office by the level of communication. So, they will get you a staff person, but you have to nurture that person to make them what you want them to be. They're going to give them the basics, but then you got to say, okay, these are the scripts that this, instead of saying this word, I want you to say this word. And also, they need to know that you are watching. If they feel, just like a person in your office, like that's why I like them in the office. If I walk past your computer and I glance over there and you on YouTube, I'm like, so you ain't got nothing else to do but YouTube right now? Oh, no, I was just taking a break from uploading clients into Integrity Connect. Oh, really? So they have to know that you are watching them. So one of the things that we do is we give them metrics, like we should have 5 to 7 appointments booked per shift. Then what we'll do is Tia will go back in and do quality control, listen to the recordings. And this stuff is done in non-income producing hours. So Tia is reviewing calls after 9 p.m. to make sure that they're using the scripts. And then we're giving them constant feedback. That is not just, okay, you get us these interviews. You know, we want to integrate them to make them truly feel like a part of the team, even though they're across the water.
I love that. I love that.
Can I add something to that real quick,
Please.
too? I was just going to say, for ours, you should, this goes for anything, you should incentivize them. Like, we still do, like, annual performance reviews with them, just like a regular person. If they want to take courses and they seem willing to learn, let them take courses, have them read the 8 steps to success. You can have them do it on audio, listen to Andy's audio in 247 RU each week. Like, get them plugged into the system, too.
Oh, yeah, and competition is very big. So what we do is, like in our WhatsApps, soon as they clock in, they're good morning, let's have a great day today. We're giving them some sort of motivation, but then they're competing with each other. So Zandy would say, well, I delivered 11 appointments my shift. And then here comes JM. I booked 8, but I'm coming for you tomorrow. It's like they have their own little competition amongst each other, which keeps them engaged.
Absolutely. Being a part of the culture. People want to be a part of something. I love it. I love what James Coleman says, success leaves clues. These are all successful people, partners, employee partner, and successful social media manager at the Alliance corporate office. Success leaves clues. What are some takeaways? They all have staff. They all have people helping them. They are buying more time. So please give it up for these successful partners at the Alliance. That is the conclusion of our panel.
Thank you. Very nice to be here today.